Hi everyone, it's Bonita from Pennies to Dollars, and today I thought we would have a little coffee chat on how convenience leaves us broke and cluttered. And I know when you hear that, you think, yeah, it really does. But it's things that we don't think about. When we fall into that convenience trap and that convenience of marketing, over time, things just become normal and we forget about how things used to be and the other ways that we did them, and we forget about even thinking about other ways to do them that could save us money. And a lot of my videos, I talk about some of the things that we did growing up that were different in the way that we do them now, and how it was perfectly done well then, but now we use convenience to do it the same way, but we think it's faster, bigger, cleaner, something that makes us enticed to go the route of convenience. And maybe it's just that it's become normal. So I thought we would talk today about the different areas that we have gone from Depression era to now, and how those areas have added clutter and convenience to our house. But are they worth it? Is it worth the clutter and the convenience to have added them to our inventory? For instance, kitchens. Kitchens used to not have all these kitchen gadgets. We had an electric skillet, a toaster, a pressure cooker. We didn't have all these gadgets growing up. My dad didn't even own a coffee pot. So when you think about that and how much counter space we had, and then we go to now, and how much space is taken up. Our counters are taken up, our cabinets are taken up. My mother-in-law has a cabinet in her garage just to hold crock pots and things. I have a cart in this room that is just covered with like fry daddies, mixers, all these things we have added to our inventory, and our kitchens don't allow for that. Growing up, we had a toaster. Now we have toaster ovens. When my husband and I first started dating, I had my eye on his toaster oven. And we joked about it, how I wanted that toaster oven, how I was after him for that toaster oven. And then we were talking yesterday, and I said, I could live without the toaster oven. I could have loved to have had the counter space that the toaster oven takes up. And so when we think about these things, and have they added convenience to our lives? Sure. Have they added clutter to our lives? Absolutely. We've gone from a handheld can opener to an electric can opener. We have gone from having pan with a grease in it to having a fry daddy. We have gone from having a pressure cooker to having air fryers to having Instapots. And we've gone from heating something in a saucepan to having microwaves. All of these things have just continued to build. And I've talked to a lot of people that say, my weakness is kitchen gadgets. I love kitchen gadgets. I'm always looking for the newest kitchen gadget. I even received one year a hard egg boiler. And it was a little container that you put your eggs in, and you had to like poke them with a hole, and they had to be dry, and you had to do all these things. And I thought, okay, has it really come to this that we are selling hard egg boilers because it's too hard to boil an egg? Let me tell you a shortcut. You boil your eggs, get them to a rolling boil, shut off the burner and cover it. You don't have to stand over it. You don't have to wait 20 minutes. And you go back in 20 minutes and your eggs are perfect every single time. That's all that it takes. And every time that my son said, let's try the egg boiler, I would have already had them in the pan of water. I hadn't turned it on yet. And then when we read the instructions, the eggs had to be dry. You had to have a pin poked in the end of it. I thought, man, I will crush an egg if I try to do that. And I said, that is just too much work. Too much work to have a machine boil my eggs. I don't even need that much time to boil eggs. These are things that we have evolved to. And then growing up, we just held corn with the tips of our fingers. I know, messy, right? That's the way I grew up eating corn. I know, it's crazy. My husband said he grew up with these. His grandma had them. His grandmother had them. We never had these. I never saw these till I was an adult and had children. And then I purchased some so they wouldn't be so messy when my kids ate corn. But we never had any until I was an adult with children. This is just a tiny little example of how we have moved from nothing or hardly anything to these, to everything you can imagine. We have gone from hand grates or knives to food choppers, food processors, blenders. And where do we keep all this stuff? This is part of the reason why we feel so cluttered in our homes, is we just have so many gadgets and a lot of them do the same thing. So I encourage you to sit back for a minute and think about what all you have in your kitchen and what things do the same thing as other things. And is the space that they're taking or the money that they're costing you really worth the space that they're taking in your lives, and how hard they are to clean once you use them? I honestly would rather chop something with a knife than have to clean a gadget. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. Even cleaning, we've gone from rags to paper towels to wet wipes. We've gone from like vinegar and maybe that powder Ajax scrub and Pine Sol to 409. We've gone from powdered laundry detergent to liquid laundry detergent to fabric softener to pellets that you put in your wash just to make them smell good. All of these things have evolved over time, and they all are extra things that we never used to have, but we now work them into our budget somehow. We've also gone from having work clothes and some Sunday clothes to having walk-in closets and tons of clothes being stored. And we've gone from washing clothes maybe once a week to washing them every single day. These are all things that we have added to our lives. And for some of us that have stayed a lot of the way that we used to be, which, yeah, that's me. I'm still living in many ways the way I was raised, not completely, but probably a lot closer than some. And for me, that just looks like more work, not more convenience. And that looks like more money. And I guess I am just too frugal, and I would rather spend my money on other things than to continue to evolve with all of these options that are being given. And maybe I'm just old-fashioned, but I don't like to learn how all these new gadgets work. For me, that's stressful. I would just rather do it the old-fashioned way. That's quicker and easier, and I'm done. So as we reassess our lives and we learn to reconnect with ourselves and live a more simple life and distract ourselves from some of these temptations, we will find that many of these things we probably don't need, and we may even not even want them once we've got them. And these things have blocked our way to being more frugal, to having more money, to having extra money. So I encourage you to step back the next time that something new comes out and think about, do I really need it? Do I really want it? Is it going to add benefit to my life, or is it going to add clutter and take away from my bank account? And for those of you that don't know, my new recipe book, 50 Frugal Recipes When Cooking on a Budget, just came out, and it is doing very well. In fact, I have reached bestseller status in 2 categories. I never expected this. I'm so excited. It's only $5.99. You can get it either on Kindle or paperback, and it's available through Amazon, and the link is in the description of this video. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.